Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show, where we fly through the news and I make as witty and pithiest comments as I can, all without makeup and a teleprompter. All right, Trump, he hosted a bunch of African nations focusing on trade and investment. You know, Africa is really like the last great economic frontier. It was also funny that Trump brought up how well one of the prime ministers spoke English. Of course, English was actually the language of his country. I think it was Liberia, but it was funny. All right, Trump is going to go tomorrow to Kerr County down in Kerrville in Kerr County, to visit the flood zone down there in Texas. He goes tomorrow.
Mr. President, Texas is grieving. Our hearts are shattered by what transpired in the early hours of Friday, July 4th. In just a few hours, over 1.8 trillion gallons of rain fell upon central Texas. The Guadalupe River, ordinarily a beautiful, peaceful, calm river, rose nearly 30 feet in less than an hour. The result was utter and complete devastation. As we stand here today, there are over 100 Texans confirmed to be dead. And that number is still expected to rise.
6 Secret Service agents were suspended without pay. Suspensions range from 10 to 42 days. Investigation did not perform at elite level required. Director Matt Quinn defended to not dismiss them and work on fixing root cause. See the guy to the right of Trump? That guy right there is Trump's Secret Service director now. He has been with him forever. I got to meet this guy every time I went to Trump. Mar-a-Lago, the Kentucky Derby, he was always there. They're friends. He's now the head of the agency. And that young girl in front of him, she looks like Reese Witherspoon. Same thing. Saw her all over the place. Mar-a-Lago, saw her at the Kentucky Derby. And, Trump decided to go with the people that he knew the best. That guy right there, Matt Quinn. Trump does not sunbathe. The Ayatollah posted something funny saying that a micro drone could hit Trump in the navel while he was sunbathing in Mar-a-Lago. Trump pointed out that he's not into sunbathing. He probably hasn't sunbathed since he was 7 years old. And he's not really worried about it. It's funny. NASA has sent, and I got a little information here, NASA has sent special equipment to Texas to help in the Texas recovery. And what's really amazing about it is they can detect things that, the human eye cannot. Good for NASA. Gracie Hunt, a 9-year-old cousin, Jamie Hunt, is somebody that she passed away, sad. Gracie Hunt had a great quote. She pointed out that if you believe in Jesus, it doesn't mean you do not have pain, but that you don't deal with the pain alone. It was a nice quote. Got to give her some credit there. MS-13 arrest in Nebraska. Top 100 most wanted fugitives. Unfreaking believable. Rene Sol Escobar Ocha. Guy's got 4 names. He apparently murdered not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 people. LA versus ICE. You know what? You cannot make it up. What do you think happens when a city or a state or a county or a federal government, like in Biden, government officials are endorsing crime resistance? I mean, it's unbelievable. That's what they're doing. So it's just awful. Biden's doctor, Kevin O'Connor, actually took the Fifth Amendment. Wow. At the House Oversight Committee behind closed door regarding Biden's health and alleged cognitive. You only need to take the Fifth Amendment, the constitutional right not to incriminate yourself, if you think you might have committed a crime. This is unbelievable. Let me tell you what I think. I think he did not commit a crime, but he's using that as an excuse not to answer the questions because it's the only excuse that he does have. It's unbelievable. CIA reported framing Trump. In other words, the CIA, now the CIA, is supporting that Comey and John Brennan, the CIA, were framing Trump with Russian collusion. If our FBI director and CIA director are involved in trying to frame the President of the United States, that's some crazy stuff, folks, that cannot be tolerated, and they deserve prosecution. Sean Duffy has been nominated by President Trump, or appointed by Donald Trump, to be the interim NASA administrator. IRS says churches can endorse political candidates effective July 8th, 2025. They changed the stance on the Johnson Amendment. Good for them. Trump loves it, by the way. In world news, Trump's leveling a 50% tariff on Brazil on goods imported starting August 1st for picking on the former prime minister. They're picking on the former prime minister. Trump's loyal. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio went after the United Nations. What for? Because they're unfairly interfering with the United States and pursuing the United States. God, it never ends with these folks. In pop culture, Ken Burns this fall is releasing The American Revolution. Now, Ken Burns is a liberal whack job, but he does historical documentaries really well. I caught something on CBS Good Morning News that he said, which I said, you know what, that's profound and it's true. He says, other than the birth of Jesus Christ, the American Revolution is in fact the most significant historical event in human history. And he's right. Now, I don't know why he said that, but I know why he said that. You know why he said that? The American Revolution led to the toppling of monarchies, changed world history, world government. That's why. And created the United States. Sports Without Boundaries. I got UFC stuff. Randy Couture airlifted to a burn center in Kansas City from a racetrack accident, car accident, got burnt. And Ben Askren is recovering from a double lung transplant after severe pneumonia. Wow. And in history, I got something funny. Millard Fillmore on this day in history, became the 13th president of the United States after Zachary Taylor died. All right? This happened in July 10th, 1850. Zachary Taylor died from eating a bowl of cherries and milk that was bad. You ready for this? Tell me he doesn't look like Alec Baldwin. Somebody pointed out to me, he looks like Alec Baldwin. He grew up poor in New York, but this is some fascinating stuff. He was the last president to be a member of the Whig Party while in the White House, and was the last president not to be a Democrat or a Republican. As the Whig Party broke up after Fillmore's presidency, he and many conservative wing joined the Nothings, or the Know Nothings, or the American Party. How you like that? The American Party. It's a new American Party. Last but not least, a funny story. He actually married his teacher, Abigail Powers, but she was only 1 year older than him. All right, and your Shakespeare insult of the day is, do not be a moldy, treacherous loon. Just don't be. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. If you live in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area, check out my local news.